Hi everyone, my name is Esredu and I'm welcome you back to my channel. A few months ago, we did a video about Nana Agradaa, who is currently known as Evangelist Mama Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, she's again in the news, or she's back in the news. And this time, she has been sentenced to 15 years in prison with hard labor by an Accra Circuit Court. This came unexpectedly to all and sundry. And trust me, a whole lot of people are out there jubilating, celebrating. Bro, this is something I didn't expect, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, a whole lot of people have this presumption that laws enacted by the state or structures in our part of the world do not really function properly. Let me tell you one thing. If you've not been caught doing something not in agreement with the laws of the land, I will advise you to stay in one corner and keep doing your things as a responsible citizen. You understand what I'm talking about? Because trust me, if the law gets hold of you, that is when you will understand that there's nobody above the law. Yep, ATL, nobody above the law. So as I made mention previously, I mentioned a case regarding Agradaa in my previous video. So I'll do my possible best to keep it at the end screen, so you go back to watch it and understand where I'm coming from. In that particular video, a fear Odo, who is a known figure in our part of the world, visited Evangelist Mama Pat's church to apologize for saying something that ended up hurting her in one way or the other. So through that particular video, I took my time to explain how she was able to convert from a well-known priestess and decided to put on the full, I don't know if I should say the full armor of God. Thou shalt not judge. I'm not judging. So let me say how she converted from being a full-time priestess to put on the partial armor of God, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so yeah, I took my time to give an in-total explanation pertaining to Agrada's transition in that particular video. So yes, it's definitely going to be at the end screen. Make time to check that particular video out. Okay, so the motive of this conversation today has got to do with Nana Agradaa being sentenced to 15 years in prison with hard labor. Bro, that is, she's going to do a lot of stuff to serve the state. You know, in such pronouncements, prisoners are likely to do a lot of stuff. You know, sometimes when it's about 6 months or less for them to come out to the real world, they bring them out to be doing a lot of stuff like weeding town, doing a lot of stuff for the benefit of the country. And while in prison, they are likely to be doing stuff like cleaning, you know, scrubbing. Bro, Agradaa is definitely going to do a lot. So, you know, this started somewhere 2022. And I'm excited nobody's trying to politicize this particular issue. I'm very excited about that because trust me, my countrymen are fond of politicizing any happening in society. I'm very glad nobody's politicizing this whole issue. So somewhere in 2022, Evangelist Mama Pat, hereafter referred to as Agradaa, went to sit on her television station. I know there are a whole lot of foreigners watching this particular piece. So now in my part of the world, or in Ghana here, and television stations are privatized, you understand? So a whole lot of people can create their television station with their own content, which are not regulated by any appropriate body. I will come there. I have a very big problem with that particular happening in my part of the world. I will come there. But let's not deviate from the normal theme of this beautiful conversation. So she went to sit on her television, that I can't really recall the name of the TV station, with a huge amount of money. I'm told she mentioned 200,000 Ghana cedis. That is 2 billion old Ghana cedis as the sum assured. And according to her, she told the entire public that she has come to do good for every Ghanaian. The motive of displaying that particular cash was in support of individuals in small scale businesses, you know, talking of market women and the others. So Ghana in general has been demarcated into 16 administrative regions. And this woman, Agradaa, was in the Greater Accra region doing something of the sort. Due to the high cost of living affecting the standard of living as at that time, people from far and near came out to get their share of the national cake. I'm describing it as a national cake because she broadcasted it as such. So people came around to get their share of the national cake. And mind you, if you watch the previous video I told you about, you will understand that while as a priestess, she had this idea, or it is alleged that she's in this particular scheme dubbed Sikagari. She promises people to bring money and she will double or triple it for them. That is what she was doing. And when people bring their money, she literally keep the money for herself and get her security guard to start scaring them and driving them away. You see the crazy part of the whole thing? So while she converted into a woman of God, woman of God, you know, people are playing with the name of God. Like, people are playing with Christianity. And I'm always saddened about that. Again, let me not deviate from the normal theme of this conversation. Let's proceed. So while as a woman of God, she was still in that scheme of, you know, stealing or robbing people for their hard-earned money. So per the explanation I gave previously pertaining to the advertisement on national television, a lot of people came around to get portion of that. A lot of people came around to get a share of that money, or they came around for Agradaa to bless them so they can go back and invest it into their business. So what she did, according to sources, she told them before she do something of the sort, they should, you know, put something in an offering bowl, or they should sow a seed. Yep. So people did that, you know, people came out with a lot of money, hoping that it will be doubled for them. So once money from the masses or once money from the congregation came at her disposal, it is told, it is alleged, or it is said that she told the entire congregation that she is tired for the day, and as such, she is not going to share money anymore. And she voiced it out boldly that nobody born of a woman can do something to her. So quickly, she climbed upstairs, closed all the doors and windows. Bro, she got balls. Like, she got balls, man. She really got balls. And that's such a wicked move from a woman, trust me. Okay, so I think it became a court case and she was granted bail. So clearly, I think this woman thought everything just vamours into thin air. You understand? Like, nobody's coming after her again. So fast forward, the court called the case back, and this time, for the number of counts, I'm told the judge had the option on liberty to jail her up to a maximum of 25 years. And trust me, this female judge was even lenient on her by giving her 15 years. Because a lot of people are voicing out that if they had the capacity, they would have sentenced her to 25 years imprisonment. And trust me, social media has been bustling from the very first day it happened. People are celebrating, jubilating, and a lot of videos are resurfing the internet. I've been watching a couple of them and I'm like, bro, all this is happening in my part of the world. People are giving accounts of how they were scammed by this particular woman, Agradaa. Trust me, in our next video, I'm definitely going to pull one of those wonderful pieces out for us to discuss. It's an eyesore, trust me, it's an eyesore. So a number of people out there are sharing their thoughts on the above subject on social media. And this morning, for instance, I saw Reverend Opambour, that is Reverend Evang, who is also known as Opambour. I heard this wonderful man of God listening to an account from one of his junior pastors. And trust me, I think majority of us were surprised seeing Opambour not commenting on this particular issue. You know, that's an intelligent move. That's an intelligent move. Because, you know, man them had this notion that Opambour would definitely say a lot of stuff about this particular issue to be a trending news for the day. But trust me, Reverend decided not to say anything about it. And he made one beautiful or one wise comment. I humbly want to put it across. Opambour mentioned he's now hearing the issue, so he doesn't really have a lot of fact about it. So for now, he wouldn't say anything about it. And I wanted to emphasize on that particular point to make a case. You know, day in and out in society, you hear a lot of people sharing their thoughts on one or two subjects without having the facts on the ground. And trust me, something of the sort keeps hurting a lot of people. Recently, I chanced on this particular video from the legendary Michael Jackson of blessed memory. And Michael was emotionally opening now to Oprah about people complaining he's not proud of his black skin. And for that matter, he has decided to get rid of the black skin to come out with a more fairer complexion. But trust me, that wasn't the case. The legendary MJ had this skin issue he was battling with, and I was even a little emotional listening to Michael speak from his heart. It's painful to do something of the sort to a neighbor or to somebody out there you do not even know, simply because you've gotten hold of a platform. You know, in our world of today, a lot of people have this media platform like I do here, being watched by your wonderful people. They sit on their platforms chastising people, saying a lot of crazy stuff about people to dim their light, to reduce their self-esteem, to make them go bananas or whatever. Bro, that is nothing good to write home about. So I was glad Opambour decided not to utter a word, but instead take his time to listening to various sides of the story before voicing something out. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the happening for the day. Nana Agradaa has been arrested. Nana Agradaa has been arrested, bro. 15 years imprisonment with hard labor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so it's been exciting discussing this particular piece with your wonderful people. As I made mention previously, stay tuned for the next phase of this Agradaa brouhaha. I am going to pull out this piece of people sharing their experience of being scammed by Agradaa, who later on became known as Evangelist Mama Pat. We serve a merciful God, bro. We serve a merciful God. Because people are using his name to do a lot of crazy things. And if I could be God for a day, bro, say no to violence. Say no to violence. If I'm God for a day, what will I do? What will I do to all those people who are making business out of my name wrongly, bro? What do I do? I'll have to think about this subject matter properly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so yes, I love you more than you do love me. And I really appreciate you making time of your busy schedule to watch the content I do create. If you love what I do, and you genuinely want to be part of this beautiful family, do what, subscribe to the channel, like this video and keep your comments coming. Peace.